Hi everyone, my name is Mahabat and I'm a sophomore at KAIST and my major is industrial design. In this video, I wanted to talk about how I got into KAIST, into this prestigious #1 university in Korea. This is one of the most frequently asked questions and I've been wanting to do this video for a while. And at the end of the video, I will also try to answer most of the questions that I received through TikTok, comments, and DMs. And disclaimer is that it's not a guideline on how to apply to KAIST. It's rather just my way of getting into KAIST, because I don't know, things change every year, and I'm just gonna talk about how I got into, and that my case is very much possible because I'm not the usual profile that fits KAIST. I applied through regular track. That's where you have more chances if you're not a very strong Olympiad person, awardee, because early track is when you are pretty much sure that you're gonna get into KAIST. Like if you have strong profile of a KAIST student, you can apply to early track. That's like in November and the results come out in December. Regular track is when you apply until like January 6th or 7th, and the results come out at the end of the March, depending on the year. So for official information, please visit the KAIST website that I'm gonna add in the description. Don't listen to me, it differs every year. And they used to have late track before me, but now we don't have that. So let's start with academic background. Since KAIST is a very technical university, having a strong academic background is one of the most strongest things that you can have. They really check those stuff. First of all, GPA and class rank. We don't have class rank in Kazakhstan. I'm from Kazakhstan. I'm talking about the things that I did as a Kazakh student. GPA, it's supposed to be very high. Like I haven't met someone in here who had low GPA, and at school it's relatively easy to get a high GPA, so just try to max it out. My GPA was 5 out of 5. I'm from Nazarbayev Intellectual School in Aktobe, and talking of Kazakh students, we have like range of from 13 to 17 people getting into KAIST from Kazakhstan, and this quota depends on your country. There are countries where there are like only 1 or 2 students, and most of them are from either NIS, like presidential school, or Turkish Lyceum called BIL, for girls and boys. Mainly boys are from there. And we also have physics and mathematics school, Fizmat, in Kazakh. Some people are from there as well, plus some like Haley Beatty kind of private schools. It's the same for Koreans here as well, because most of the Koreans are from science high schools. It's quite hard to get into KAIST because I believe that most people aren't just very informed from ordinary schools, or their program does not align with the basic minimum requirements for KAIST. So like it depends on your high school's curriculum. The system that I had in NIS is that in 12th grade you choose 2 subjects or 3 subjects, and I chose advanced physics, advanced chemistry, and math. But the results of A-level equivalent exams I did not use. I used SAT. So, talking of required exams for KAIST, there's a big list, and you can take either SAT, AP exams, A levels, A and AS levels, and like if you're from NIS, you can definitely use that, but in case of that, you'll get a conditional offer with like the highest possible, like you have to get A star. If you don't get A star, you're just not getting into KAIST with full scholarship. And that's why I did not want conditional offer, and I just used SAT. I'll talk further about it later. I think there are more type of exams that can be accepted, but you really have to look into the official guidelines to know more. For SAT, there's a range usually based off of the Kazakh students and some international students, ranges from 1480 to 1580 SAT scores. And from each year, because SAT became digital, the average became much higher, I think, because this newest batch, they have 15, 40, 80, 70 score. I just took it twice. First time I took it at the end of the 11th grade, and I got 14, 13, and was deeply disappointed by that. But then I randomly decided to take it again in fall of my 12th grade, and I literally had like 1 week of preparation because I didn't really have time, but that was very intense preparation to only the section that I was the weakest at. And I eventually ended up taking 15, 20 with maxing out math and 720 English and reading part. And I used that SAT to, and I think SAT, if you're taking SAT, it plays a big role. And there are a few examples. Late admission was a thing. I had like 1 or 2 seniors who said that they got rejected from regular admission, but then they just changed their SAT because they retook it and they had a higher score and they got in. So I think SAT plays a big role. So try to start taking SAT as early as possible, prepare a lot. Next thing is English test scores. If you're not taught in English, you have to like submit English test score. The ones that I know is TOEFL and IELTS, and you can just choose whatever. I took IELTS because my school provided a free IELTS taking opportunity. Also in 12th grade, I know I took the exams pretty late because a lot of people take them early, but it just depends on you. I prepared for, I think, 20 days. It was okay, and I got overall 8. But the thing is that unlike SAT, IELTS is not that important. So like a lot of Koreans, they get in with a very low English capabilities. They cannot speak English. But internationals, as long as you're like passing 7.0 or 7.5, you're all right. But like if your score is not that high, depending on the like each section, you might have to take certain courses here to fulfill your requirements. But with my IELTS, they covered all the essentials, so I hopefully did not have to do that. Talk about honors. You have to list 5 or 10 honors. I think it's 5 honors in your application, and you have to list them through like the most influential one to the least. And to say the least, I was the most horrible person because I don't have any honors. And I wrote some Go West, I don't remember if I added it, but I added the Go West Olympiad where I got the first place. It's called, it's I think international level. Very random, not related to my career or whatsoever. Second one is like, I was semi-finalist of Climate Science Olympiad, also online Olympiad, not related to my major or whatsoever. Maybe it related a little bit, but like it's just semi-finalist. It's just an online Olympiad, but because it's international, I decided to add it. For national level, I wrote my Kazakhstan's history Olympiad, but like it wasn't really national. It was just among all the NIS from different regions. So because it's a lot of regions, I decided to write it national. And it's not even first place, it's 3rd place. And then I wrote my regional project contest with my ICT project where I got 3rd place. Do you not realize how low that is? Because it's like 3rd place in regional. That's horrible. And then the other one was, I think I didn't have enough, so I wrote the best delegate nomination from local MUN conference. So as you can see, my honors are very diverse, very not related, very not linked to my career or to my profile. But that's all I had. I tried a lot, but like I'm not a avid Olympiad person, but like since I had some international and some national levels, I think they counted it. So even if you have some random stuff, you have to try, but preferably just do Olympiads in one section as other KAIST students did to get in, and you'll be fine. And then for extracurriculars, again, my extracurriculars were pretty random. I think the first one was I was in the local like school MUN club, and I was in the organizing team, and we hosted like a conference with 100 people, 4 committees, and I was like chairing one of them, and I mentored a lot of people. So I wrote all that with numbers so it would look good. Others, I also added, I think it's a valid point that I added my research paper. So in NIS curriculum, we have a course, very useful course, GPPW, group project and something work, where you learn how to write research papers, how to conduct research, how to academically write it, and as a result you have a coursework. So I used that coursework in my extracurriculars, and the paper was called The Ethics of AI. And now that I look back into it, I think it was pretty good thing that I wrote that, because after I checked in Google my paper, it was cited by multiple people. And if you search the ethics of AI art, my work is one of the first things that pop up. So I think they also considered it as a valid point, because KAIST is a research-based university. But I took it down. Don't have to search for it. I took it down because I don't think it's credible enough. It was just research on students and like very small pool. It's very incredible. I don't know why people cited me, but like if you have research paper or how you have been interning, working on certain researches, I think it's a valid point to add it. And if it's connected with AI, it's even better, because we have AI programs. AI is literally discussed everywhere. It would be nice. And also I had another project that used convolutional neural networks, basically a machine learning, and maybe they considered that as well. Machine learning is also a big thing. I didn't know what I was doing when I did that project. That was a completely horrible project that only got me 3rd place in regional Olympiad, but not Olympiad, but like projects competition. But that was also something good. Now, I don't have the list of other extracurriculars that I listed, but I'm pretty sure that I already talked about the ones that are very important. So you don't have to worry much about it's not like worry much, I just don't have it. Write whatever you have. If it's very useful and connected to your major, it's better. But like mine were pretty diverse, so just even if you have lame stuff, you can add it, but try to do a lot of stuff. KAIST has it doesn't have like one big motivational statement or like personal statement. It has 5 separate questions. The only thing that I can remember from them is that I just took the personal statement that I wrote for American universities and divided them accordingly to the topics. I cannot give much advice because I don't think my essay is good. I'm very sorry, and I lost them. I don't know where they're stored. But I remember that one of the questions were like, why us essay? And because I chose physics and chemistry and mathematics as advanced subjects in a high school, I was applying to chemical and biomolecular engineering. I know that my major right now is not it, but like when I was applying, that was chemical and biomolecular engineering, so CBE department. That's why when answering to the question why us, why are you choosing KAIST, I researched the CBE website and chose particular projects, particular professors, and wrote why exactly I want to go there and what I want to work on. And if you show interest in research, you're very likely to get in, I think. So like be as specific as you can be. It's not like, oh, KAIST is the best. KAIST is the best, but why are you trying to get in? They like research. I think if you write about research, you'll probably get in. The other essays, I'm pretty sure I wrote some horrible, pathetic stuff, but I don't know. My advice is to tie your academic goals as much to your personal statement, show growth, and be as specific when writing why us essay. Let's talk about recommendation letters. The KAIST's recommendation letter is very different from American system. It's not like just a big letter that you just write and send to every university. As much as I can remember, they have like a list of questions where they say, would you describe the student best of the century? And they're like, answers like the most excellent, top 10%, top 3%. Ask your teacher who's writing your recommendation to choose them like highest ones, I guess. And they also have like short answer questions with essays. I obviously don't know what my recommender wrote, but she said that she wrote me as the best student of all times, and that I engage, I ask questions and all that stuff. So be aware that the format is not like typical. And again, I was applying to chemical engineering, and the person who was writing my recommendation letter was my chemistry teacher. So I think you have to tie things down together and ask your recommender to rank you as the best, because KAIST only accepts the best of the best. And the next part is interview. As you might probably know if you've read the guidelines, KAIST offers interviews to undergraduate students. The thing is, I did not have that interview. As much as we can understand, if the admission committee likes your profile but is not sure if your like technical capabilities are enough for KAIST, they try to make interview. So for example, you don't have the best grades for one subject, or like they don't have appropriate exam results from you that prove that you are good or proficient in a certain subject, they make interview about it. So interviews are not like, oh, why you like KAIST? It's more like technical stuff. Again, I'm telling you this from what my friends told me who went through this interview. I didn't even know that I would get into KAIST. I just forgot that, yeah, I didn't hope to get into KAIST. It just happened. So if you got into without interview, it's like it's straight admission. They didn't even doubt your profile. They knew that you were perfect. So just hope for no interview. But if you have interview, just write in the Telegram chats of admissions and ask what kind of questions they have, and try to prepare for that. And even if you fumble your interview, and like if you think you didn't do well, but if you tried, you still might get in, because I have my friends who told me that they got almost nothing wrong and they still got in. The story is that I decided to apply to KAIST because I wanted to come to Korea, and I was trying all the universities, and my friend was like, you just have to try. And like I applied to KAIST as one of the Ivy Leagues. I applied to 3 other Ivy Leagues, and it's like, if you don't apply when you're graduating high school, when else are you gonna apply to the top universities? You just have to try, right? And the application system was pretty good, because I also wanted to apply to UNIST, but I couldn't understand the application system. But for KAIST, they have their own application system, and it's pretty interesting, pretty nice, convenient, even though you have to pay some sort of application fee. And when I got the results on 30th of March, I remember, first I opened all 3 Ivy Leagues, was rejected, and someone in the Telegram chat sent a message saying that KAIST results are out, and I'm like, oh, I also applied to KAIST, and I opened the website and it's like, congratulations. I was like, I couldn't believe my eyes. I cried, I bawled my eyes out, and decided to come to KAIST. So if you ask any international students why exactly KAIST, unfortunately, mainly because they got rejected everywhere else in America, and like they only got into KAIST. But another big reason is that other universities might have accepted them, but they did not have enough aid. If you get accepted into KAIST, you automatically have full tuition, like the most possible full covering of your tuition. Since KAIST is a public university, you don't pay tuition, it's already covered. You have monthly stipend of 350,000 won, and the dormitories in KAIST are pretty cheap compared to other universities. So you pay 440,000 won per semester, which is pretty cheap. That's dormitory, and your flights and your food is the only things that you have to cover you by yourself. And depending on your country, flights can be pretty expensive. And why am I saying food? If you have stipend does not cover the whole what you eat throughout the whole semester. 350,000 won is a pretty good amount. I'm very thankful that I have that stipend, but it definitely does not cover all our food needs, because eating is pretty expensive in KAIST, but still it's way better scholarship than in other universities or what other universities offer. I made sure to write out all the questions that I usually get from TikTok comments or private messages. So this one was from one person and it was the most comprehensive. So first, is your program fully in English? Can students choose a Korean thought program instead? So it's one of the most biggest misconceptions I think about KAIST, because people think because KAIST is a Korean university, you have to know Korean language or TOPIK exam. Like you have to take TOPIK exam. TOPIK is a Korean proficiency exam. Absolutely no, because as I said before, you need IELTS, you need TOEFL. KAIST is fully English taught program. The university is supposed to be like that. It's almost entirely in English, so you don't need Korean, but you do need it to to like adapt. Knowing Korean is a huge plus to adapt to Korean environment, and there are many courses that are offered to Koreans, but you can just not take them, as they're mostly optional. And yes, we will have to take like Korean 3 for Korean camp. We'll have to know, like, we have a requirement for graduation, and we have to have level 2 out of 6 in order to graduate, which I already satisfied. But like, in order to get in, you don't have to like satisfy these requirements yet. You can do it later. But if you really want to, you can take the TOPIK exam. Just do whatever you want. And no, you cannot choose Korean taught program, because even Koreans cannot choose that, because everything is in English. Just for information, the whole video is about undergraduate application. I do not respond for master's degree or PhD, but we do have a lot of graduate programs and graduate students. The most valued achievements are international, national, Olympiad places. There are a lot of people from those, and basically if you have a lot of those, you have a guaranteed place in KAIST. Did you apply with a TOPIK score or study Korean in Korea first? I personally started studying Korean in 8th grade at school, but just because I was obsessed with K-pop. But like, you don't need it. How are the living facilities? Does KAIST provide dorms for undergraduates or language students? If renting an office near KAIST, is it expensive? So we have a lot of dormitories. We have only like 3 dormitories for girls and 7 or 8 dormitories for men, because of the proportion of girls So I think officially there are 10 men, 10 male to 1 female. The ratio is like that. But the main female facility, Autumn dormitory, is pretty cheap. I like it. Sometimes there might be roaches, sometimes the things might be bad, but for the price I'm really satisfied. I'm alright. But male dormitories, I listen a lot of weird stories, but I'm not the one to talk about it. And there are people who are renting houses outside KAIST, and they say that it's not that far, but I honestly think living in dorm is way more comfier, because I think they're missing out on a lot, but it can definitely be more expensive to live outside. Do you enjoy studying at KAIST? I do, but I think I need another video for that. How hard it is studying in KAIST. It's pretty hard. Like, whatever major you'll choose, you'll suffer, so you'll eventually have to choose something that you like studying and suffering. Is that acceptance rate good? How hard is it to get into KAIST? It's pretty hard, but I heard there's no official acceptance rate, but they say it's like 35%. It might be lower. I feel like it's lower, but like if you're international students, it's easier to get into if you just build strong academic profile. I won a scholarship. Everyone's on a scholarship. If you want to get off of scholarship, you have to get your GPA lower than 2.7 out of 4.3. So it's pretty hard to lose your scholarship. How many international students does KAIST accept? Like 15%, 30%, I don't know. So the thing about my major is that, yes, when you're applying, you have to choose one major, but during the first year, you have to take basic courses. So you declare your major only at the end of the second semester. So until then, you can explore many majors that KAIST provides. I realized how hard the chemical engineering department was, so I decided to take industrial design. It's very hard still. I cry from time to time, but at least it's something that I like doing. And a lot of people to take double majors, so it's very possible. Are there many Russian-speaking community in KAIST? Not so much. Everyone speaks English, which is good, but there might be problems with Koreans. I think that's it for today, because I yap too much. I think the video is gonna be very long, but thank you for watching until the end and showing interest. And if you have further questions, especially about life in KAIST, please leave them below so I can answer them in my next questions.